name is Ashley McGregor. Today I'm going to be discussing the impact that social media has had on the corporate world. In this presentation, I will discuss the history of social media, laws and regulations regarding social media, how to develop a social media policy, and lastly, how managers can effectively use social media in the workplace. The history of social media. In the 1940s, the first supercomputer was invented. Fast forward to 1997 when the first official social media website was created. This website was called 6 Degrees. It allowed its users to upload profiles and befriend other users. In 1999, the first blogging website was created. In the early 2000s, all the popular social media websites we know today were created, such as YouTube, MySpace, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. According to Nielsen's latest social media report, the total time spent on social media websites has increased 37% since 2011, from 88 billion minutes to 121 billion minutes. This is because Americans have become great multitaskers. It's not uncommon for you to be sitting in front of the TV on your mobile phone, tablet, or laptop, tweeting about what's going on your favorite show. How does this affect the corporate world? Since the movement towards social media, there has been a shift in how companies interact, support, and collaborate with their customers. Laws and regulations of social media. Being an effective manager means knowing how these laws and regulations can affect you and your employees. Because social media is relatively new, it can be hard to navigate these laws. Social media was originally created so we could freely share ideas between each other. However, this has become abused. Managers now know too much information about their employees. They know what they do on their days off, their family matters, and even their drinking habits. Theodore Claypool stated that when too much information is published, it can prevent an obstacle when the circumstances change and a rival is seeking an edge for promotion. What you post on social media websites, your coworkers can use it against you. In other countries, such as Europe and Canada, their citizens' privacy is considered a human right. Here in the United States, that only applies in certain cases, such as healthcare. ABC News recently covered states that have social media laws in place. In May 2012, Maryland passed a law that digitally protects its citizens. In July 2012, Delaware passed a similar law that protects college students. Illinois shortly followed by passing a law in August 2012. As of January 1st, 2013, California has passed an act called the Social Media Privacy Act. This act prohibits employers and universities from requesting your passwords to social media sites when you're applying. New Jersey, Michigan, and 6 other states have also passed this act. Here's a map of states that have social media laws in place. How to develop a social media policy. A study by Press-Cower International Labor and Employment Group found that 43% of its company's respondents reported employee misuse of social media websites. This is why it's imperative to have a social media policy in place. How do you develop a social media policy? Glenn Gilmore, author of A Social Media Law for Business, has created a successful way to develop a social media policy. Step 1. Establish a team. Your team should be diverse but an accurate representation of your company. The goal is to empower your employees to be social in an effective and compliant manner. Step 2. Define objectives. Social media should promote your brand and image while connecting with customers on a more personal level. Step 3. Write your policy. Step 4. Invite stakeholders, employees, and even customers to read your policy. This is the best way to find if there is an issue and correct it immediately. Step 5. Hone your policy. Create the final draft of your policy, making sure that it matches your company's objectives and your company culture. Step 6. Provide in-house training. Step 7. Monitor and engage. Social media is constantly advancing. You want a policy that can advance as social media does. Lastly, how managers can effectively use social media in the workplace. Social media can be used to increase brand loyalty, improve brand awareness, and provide customers with a richer experience. A study by Convince and Convert showed that 53% of Americans who follow companies on social media websites are more loyal. Next, in an interview with Paul Myers, he will explain how Audi effectively uses social media.
Up next, we have an in-depth interview with Paul Myers from M80.
What can you tell us about managing a big brand like Audi in the social space?
We're on 9 different social networks right now, managing the conversation. And one thing we have to remember is Audi is a brand that wants to maintain its brand in every space that it enters. People who follow us on Twitter are getting a different message than people who like us on Facebook or follow us on Instagram or subscribe to us on YouTube. We really cater each message to the audience and the way they want to receive it.
In conclusion, today we talked about how social media has impacted the corporate world. The topics we touched on were the history of social media, laws and regulations of social media, how to develop a social media policy, and how managers can effectively use social media in the workplace. Social media is a newer technology that managers need to learn how to use effectively to keep their competitive edge. Thank you for listening.